there. In this video, we're going to continue to multiply polynomials, except we're going to use the method called FOIL method. Now, if you have been in a math class at all, in high school, even in middle school, you've probably heard of the FOIL method. This is all this video is going to practice. We're going to do a couple problems together, and then I have some problems for you at the end of this video to try on your own. First, let's review what the word FOIL means. It's an acronym, which means each letter of the word FOIL represents a different word. So you guys, of course, may already know this. This represents the location of these terms down here because we're about to multiply this binomial times this binomial. Now, FOIL, there's no magic to FOIL. It really just helps you, it reminds you that you are multiplying all the necessary parts that you need to do this problem. The first letter in FOIL stands for first. This represents the first terms in each of the binomials. We are going to multiply those together. Now you can choose to draw lines here if you want, if that helps you connect. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to connect these two, and I'm going to put an F right over that line because those are the first terms in each parenthesis. If we multiply 5x times 3x, it's 15x squared. The O represents for the outside or the outer number, so I'm going to squeeze that word up there, outer. And that represents when you're looking at the problem as a whole, if you're looking at both sets of parentheses, the numbers on the far outside of the entire problem. In this one, it is this 5x and the 1, so I'm going to put an O right there. 5x times 1 is 5x. Okay. Next, I stands for inner. Again, when you're looking at the problem as a whole, it's the numbers right here on the inside. So I'll just kind of squeeze in a little line. And again, these lines are not necessary. I'm just showing you for this example. 6 times 3x is 18x. And then L stands for last. And it's these, we're going to go back to the individual binomials, and the 6 and the 1 are the last digits. That's positive 6. Okay? So I want you to notice we have 4 multiplication answers right here because we multiplied 4 times. We multiplied the first and got the 15x squared. We multiplied the outside and got the 5x. We multiplied the inside and got 18x. And then we multiplied the last terms to get that 6. Okay? Now, there's a few things we need to do. This is part of our answer, but we need to simplify this answer. Number 1, it has to stay in descending order. And number 2, if there's any like terms, we need to combine those like terms into one. I'll tell you guys a little secret. Usually, 99% of the time, you are going to combine the O and the I together and make them one term. The F and the L usually stand alone, and so those stay. The F usually stands as the first number in the answer, and the L is the last number. So our final answer is going to be 15x squared. Then we're going to combine the 5x with the 18x to get 23x plus 6. So your final answer is 15x squared plus 23x plus 6. Okay, let's take a look at another example. It's the same thing. We're still going to use that FOIL method. Now, one thing that's different about this problem is that there's 2 variables. Don't worry, it's going to still work the same way. We're still going to follow the first, outer, inner, last, and then make sure this answer gets in alphabetical order. You ready? All right, what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the lines. We are going to connect, we're going to multiply the 3x times the x, that's our f. This is going to be 3x squared, okay? Our outer, now check this out, guys. Look at this. Our outer is 3x times negative y. We have two variables. Anytime there's two variables in a multiplication answer, you need to put those variables in alphabetical order. They just need to line up in ABC order. So this is going to stay negative 3xy. And that was our outer, so I'll put a little O. And then our inside terms are right here in the middle. This is negative 2y times x. Same thing, it's going to go in alphabetical order. And then our last terms, I guess these lines kind of get a little crisscrossed. Our last term is negative 2y times negative y, which is a positive y squared. Okay, so again, we have our first, outer, inner, and last. Two things to get to our answer. We need to write the problem in descending order, and we need to combine any like terms that we see. Okay, well, this is interesting. Well, let's first combine like terms. Right here, the O and the I, they both end with the variables x, y, so those are like terms. Negative 3xy minus 2xy is a negative 5xy. So put that right there. Now I want you to check out the first and the last. Notice that they both have an exponent of a 2. And I've described to you earlier that a descending order takes the highest exponent and then you count down. But what if the exponents are exactly the same? If they are exactly the same, the one that is highest is the letter that comes first in the alphabet. So since the x comes first, we're going to put all of the x terms in descending order first, then we'll put all of the y in descending order. So this 3x squared is going to be the highest. The next highest is going to be this term, because even though it has a y, this x right here trumps the y. So the y is still there, but because an x is there as well, it goes before this y squared. So hopefully that makes sense. So this actually would be your final answer in descending order, and the terms are collected 3x squared minus 5xy plus 2y squared. Okay, let's take a look at one more problem together. In this problem, same drill. We're still going to use the FOIL, except at the end, it's not going to come out perfectly in descending order, so we're going to have to rearrange a little bit more than the previous two problems. So let's go. If we multiply the first, it's 6 times 4x, which is 24x, so that's our first. And then if we multiply the outside, this is 6 times negative 3, which is negative 18. That's our outside. The inside here is negative 2x times 4x, which is negative 8x squared. That's an I for our inside. And then the last term is negative 2x times negative 3, which is a positive 6x. Okay, so it's super important when you're doing these FOIL problems that you have actually multiplied 4 times, because you need your original 4 answers first, and then you can start descending order and collecting like terms. Before we put anything in descending order, I want to point out that the first and the last term are actually the ones that we're going to collect together. On the previous example, I think example 1, I said it's almost always going to be the O and the I, but every once in a while it's not. In this problem, we're going to combine the F and the L. This 24x plus 6x is 30x, and I'm going to just guess that it's going to be our middle term here. Okay, we only have one variable, x, and so we just have to focus on On that, the high one is right here, the x squared. So this negative 8x squared will be our first term. We already determined that 30x would be our second term, and then this minus 18 is our last term. Okay, so now it's your turn. Pause the video, and I want you to try some of these examples on your own.